So at least. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever you're watching this broadcast right around the world, A very warm welcome to Casey Stadium, and it is an absolute picture. You can see it on your screen. One of the newest indoor cricket centres getting around. It's not just an indoor cricket centre, it's an absolute monster. There's basketball, there's badminton. Geez, there's everything going on around here. Sitting next to me is a man who plays in the competition we're about to watch, the 2019 NICL in the men's division. It is in the Victoria East competition, and it's Mr. Justin Perkins. Perko, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Now, I've just been looking at your stats, old son. You're doing all right. Now, in terms of your team, you've got the highest contribution, a run average of 20.5, and that's across 6 games as well, so it's not just a little game. You're across 6 games, and your runs conceded, I don't know if this is actually quite right, 8? Runs conceded 8, run conceded average 1.33 with your bowling.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Right.
No, I missed out with the bat today. They've got a few wickets, so going all right. We've been flying along quite nicely, sitting top at the moment, so just trying to keep that buffer on the other couple of sides we're playing against.
Yeah, you can see the Victoria East Men's Indoor Cricket Championships up there at the moment. Raiders, Stars, Kings, Seahawks. And Justin Perkins leading the way for his team, and 11 wickets from 12 overs for you, mate. So must make you pretty happy.
Yeah, it's always good to take wickets. It always helps.
Well, let's put this game up on the hoist and have a little bit of a look at it. We can see that the Seahawks are at the bottom. They're 0 wins, 5 losses. You've played against them so far in the competition. How have you found them?
They're a very young side, and first season playing, so they're still learning the game. They're going to improve, and they have improved every week, I think, of the season. So hopefully they can steal a win somewhere along the lines, and keep improving as the season goes on.
Now, I've been out having a chat to some punters out here in the stadium, and we're getting some content for the podcast, some pre-game predictions for the Yellow Ball podcast. Get involved, Wooshka or iTunes, get involved, mate. I love it.
Still waiting for my flyer to put up. It's cold.
Yeah, mate, it's coming, mate. I'm telling you. For all those waiting on posters, they're getting mailed out on Monday. Some pre-game predictions, and some folks have said that Cranbourne have a tendency to not put in a good performance and have a bit of a choke from time to time. Now, I don't want to be critical of any teams, but sometimes they're on and sometimes they can have a poor night. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah,
yes or no?
They're a bit hot and cold. I expect them to go pretty well tonight, though. I think they might have a pair let them down, but overall they should put a pretty good score on the board here and should beat Bayside.
Yeah, Cranbourne.
Pretty consistently.
We've got some. We've just had someone come along, and to be honest, well, I'm actually born in Footscray of all the places, so it's hard to get Footscray wrong. But I say Cranbourne. Cranbourne's not it.
Nah, Cranbourne.
Yeah, Cranbourne. Yeah, Melbourne. Yeah, Newcastle. But up there at the top of the umpire stand is Andrew Potts. Is he the number 1 umpire in Victoria?
Yeah, by a mile.
Is he the number 1 umpire in Australia?
I reckon he's pretty good.
Okay.
I'll pump him up. I reckon he's right up there. He's
that
normally pretty good. So we've got the cameras tonight. We're gonna have a really good look at his calls on camera. So he's normally spot on, Potsy.
We will break it down, and to go through the Cranbourne outfit, Perko, if you would be so kind.
All right, we've got Travie Baker, captain, Aussie representative in Dubai a couple of years ago in the World Cup. He moved over from us last year to captain Cranny this year. Left arm quick. Dan Van Hees, under 21s Vic rep. Right arm quick. Pat Beckham is left arm. Doesn't play for any. He just plays for Cranbourne. Doesn't represent anyone. J Jam, right arm quick. Pretty solid bat. Under 21s this year as well. Josh Gregory, ex-Open men's player. Pretty solid. Right arm really slow. Mitch Gregory, current Open men's player. Right arm quick, pretty solid with the bat as well. Luke Baker, Travis's brother, ex-Open men's player as well. Pretty solid. And Aaron Pebbles, he's pretty sharp with the ball as well. He's played some junior rep stuff as well for Victoria.
And the Seahawks, how do they line up this evening?
So captain Jono Di Razio is under 17s rep, I'm pretty sure. Plays a high grade outdoor. I think he represented the Aborigine under 19s or something last year.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to confirm that, but he's a pretty good player. Jordan Hesline, under 15s Aussie rep. Sam Reeder under 15s Aussie rep last year. Julian Derone, I don't know much about Jules, so see what he's got. Don't know much about Simon Vararock and Benji Gore. Lewis Salinger is under 15s rep this year, so you can see how young they are. We've got Sam Wiedering opening the ball on here, so he's under 17s Victorian rep this season.
Thank you very much, mate, for taking us through that really good analysis, and that's why we get the people in the know in the commentary box. That's come off his glove, and it's a sharp chance. Gee whiz.
That was quick.
That was quick. It was a bit of an effort ball in the second one, and I like how he has a little wry smile there, Sam Wiedering. He looks at him as he comes past. It's Josh Gregory out there, and it is no surprise that that is Dan Van Heest down there. I think if Miles are any good. Dan Van Heest and Josh Gregory batting first. Do not be surprised if Travis Barker and Mitch Gregory bat second. That's just me crystal balling a little bit, and I reckon Lukey Barker and Paddy, Pat Beckham will come out batting third. So
they've been batting last a little bit as well.
All right, that's a no ball too. Good call by umpire Andrew Potts. So you reckon they're going to bat last?
Yeah, I think they've been batting last a little bit, those two.
Luke and Patrick. Well, actually, you know what, mate? You're dead right, because look at my notes here. Likely for. You're right.
Yeah.
There should be an appeal there. It is indoor cricket. Everybody loves an appeal for LBW, even when it's completely unrealistic. So, of course, we do welcome your comments at the Cricket Australia indoor Facebook page. Gee, a bit of bounce in this pitch.
Third ball.
So, Justin Perkins, tell us about the playing surface. You've been out there. You've played on it. Brand new turf.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to give too much away to the opposing states.
Mate,
this year.
There's a lot of Queenslanders listening to Western Australia.
Well, it's brand new, so there's a little bit in it. There's minimal games being played on it at the moment, so it's going to take a little bit to flatten out, I think, and hopefully by the time Nationals comes away, I think it'll play pretty well.
And do you know what? If memory serves me correctly, last year's Opens tournament that was in Toowoomba, they had pretty new pitches as well, did they not?
They played well as well, I think. It's much the same.
So it's Lewis Salinger, third ball opportunity, the first one for the game. It's tucked around the corner for 2 runs. You've been around for a little while. What is par total for this division? And does playing on this court make any difference? Because it is slightly wider than most, some may argue.
I reckon probably Cranny'd be happy with 90, I think. Probably defend a little bit less on these wickets, but 90, I think they'll be aiming for 100, 90 to 100 plus.
Yeah, well, this season their average is 80.17, but their last 3 games average is 109.33.
Oh.
And that has almost kissed that stump. That was an absolute whisker from England away. You'll watch it thanks to Sportscast, our broadcasting partners. Gee, that's come very close. Oh my word. Cranbourne looking to build their score, and in this, well, in all indoor cricket, I suppose, not just this division, but you know, wickets are a real premium. It really sets you back. It's an over's worth of work when you get dismissed. You know, if you're kind of getting that kind of 6 to 8 and over, trying to get around that 20-24. So trying to protect that wicket, slower ball and not picked.
It's really well bowled by Louis. It's good. I'm coaching the under-15s Vic side, and he's part of that this year. He's just started playing. And he's improved leaps and bounds since we first picked him, probably 3 weeks.
I thought you were about to tell me that he's in your fantasy league, like your super coach thing.
He's got one. It'd be good if he was.
Mate, maybe that should be the next big thing in indoor cricket, mate. A fantasy league of indoor cricket. Put my captain on Juzzy Perkins, mate. Double points.
That's an early one. That's the one they wanted. Nice early wicket. Puts the pressure on this first pair.
Yeah, this is going to be a really cracking game, I think. I've got a bit of an inclination here that the Seahawks are going to do pretty well.
The cameras are on. The young boys are coming to play, you reckon?
No, I reckon they're going to turn up.
They've got we played them a few weeks ago. They've got a few changes, actually. Hesline's back in. He's a good player. Jordan. So this is probably one of the strongest sides they've fielded for the season so far.
Benji Gore to come in, and as we know with indoor cricket, anybody with the first name of Benji is a freak player. That's the rule. I know a mate of mine, he's got 5 boys. Every single one of them is called Benji.
Pressure's on here. This is a big over for the skin in the game.
Just getting it over on that leg side guard there, the second on the leg. 8 is the score. Cranbourne moving along. That's a loose delivery. In the female divisions earlier on, and look, granted they were a younger age group, but very ill discipline. A lot of ill discipline, in fact. So you'd expect that these chaps would be wanting to not do that, and at the moment they're doing exactly that.
Yeah, you got to cut the extras right down. You can't afford to give batsmen 4 free runs just like that in a row. This is taking the pressure right off this pair.
It is an absolute deflator, isn't it? It is an absolute killer.
The captain will be pulling his hair out at this over.
Had him on the rack a little bit, and then you give him 6 runs. There's a chance. Is it down there, wicket keeping? Is that Jono? Jono Durazio?
No, Jono's at legs. I'm not sure who the keeper is. He might be Cody Ferris.
It's interesting to see. My eyes aren't that good as we will. Yeah, it's sportscaster. They give us the goods. They bring us the good gear with the footage. Thanks, guys. Wicket keeping with the 2 gloves on. And now that I can see, it's Simon Vavarok. And thanks for zooming in so I can see. My eyes aren't that good all the way down the other end. 2 wicket keeping gloves, mate. You don't often see that.
No, that's pretty rare in the top grade. Not sure he's going to throw the ball down the bowler's end for a run out.
We'll have to keep an eye on it. And look, just like that, Cranbourne now have skipped away to 15.
Yeah, another big over here. If they get another 10 off, 25's a good start. Oh. That's going to be re-bowled, I assume.
So 18 Cranbourne move along too, and you know the Seahawks, they've used 17 players in their squad this year, so that's reasonably high.
That's very high, I would have thought,
compared to most. Contrast that with Cranbourne using just a 10.
Yeah, I think most would be 10 or 11, most sides.
So it can be sometimes a little bit tricky to get those partnerships. Because even though, of course, when you're in a batting partnership, you bat in partnerships, but you also bowl in bowling partnerships as well and support each other throughout the skin. And 20 is the Cranbourne score, and they have skipped away.
CSB. Here it is, that's a chance. No. Nice jag one late here, take a bit of momentum into the second pair.
Good to see Dan Van Hees diving around on the new turf. He's trying to listen to you, Perko. He's trying to rough it up a little bit. And that's going to be 5 runs I think you're going to find. It is expertly flicked off his toes into the corner. And the pressure cooker that was at the start is all been released now as we see the replay. Pure. Well, what do you make of that last couple of overs there from Cranbourne?
I think Jono will be pulling his hair out. They're on, I think, 6 after 2 overs, and they've bowled maybe 10 runs in wides and a couple of fullies, and let the pressure ride off. 27's 29 in the end they've got. That's a great skin. That's easily defendable for Cranbourne. They batted well to get to that.
Yeah, Coda Ferries only playing the one game so far. Only going for 4 runs from his 2 overs in his first game, but unfortunately this evening for his first one, he's really let it go on. And tell us a little bit about Travis Baker. Gee whiz, isn't he a talent?
Yeah, he's an absolute gun. Back in the Vic squad this year, so we're hoping he sets the world on fire again. This pair, both open men's Victoria reps, they should be looking at 40 plus here, 40 at least.
Jordan Hesline conceding an average of 7.33 runs.
Leggies, very good bowler.
And I reckon that he's grown about
foot.
Every time I look at him, he just keeps getting bigger and taller.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's still he's bottom age under 17s this year as well.
Is he still that young? You're kidding me.
He just come out of the 15s last year.
Mate, he's obviously been going home and standing in the horse manure, mate, because he's been watered, he's been treated. That could be a chance. Oh, it's gone down. He's as strong as an ox, is he now, Jordan Hesline?
Oh, it's 5. No, it didn't run.
Yeah, it was just the one. The umpire just looking for a bit of confirmation there. It can be a little bit difficult to see. Searching, desperate for a wicket. Gives himself plenty of room.
Great shot that by Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch Gregory really did pick up on that quite early. He was in position for it, and he had plenty of time in the end. The experts make it look easy, but I can tell you folks at home, that was a very difficult shot.
Sauce. He won't be happy with that, Saucy. Pretty high expectations of himself. He's given away 6 down leg side.
So they've certainly had their moments here of Cranbourne. They could have been slightly more on top. Well, they're not on top to any degree at this stage, but they could have been perhaps on top. But 36, it's okay, because you know what? There's still a long way to go left in this game. So I want you to put your captain's hat on for me, your coach's jacket. They're going to bowl Julian Drowan now. If it's me, for mine, I want to try and wrestle back some of that momentum. Yeah. So I'm starting to put on someone who can really give a bit of firepower down.
They need to find a way to take a wicket. In saying that, this is probably Cranbourne's best pair. So you might just, whoever you bowl to them, they might get 30, 35, 40 runs anyway. So you could put a couple up the sleeve and target a couple of the other pairs coming in 3rd and 4th maybe.
Yeah, and
they've let that first pair off. If they kept that first pair to 15, yeah, it makes it hard when you give up so many runs in those last 2 overs. So yeah, there's pros and cons of trying to take a wicket now, or saving a couple for the later pairs.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing. Is Travis Baker has a good look at that one and goes through to the wicketkeeper. Julian Drowan played the 4 games this season, 62 runs he's leaked. It's 15.5 a game.
So the 3rd ball chance here. They've got to make something happen here. They've got to take a chance, get themselves back in the game. Good shot. They don't have really any real strike bowlers, Southern Bay side. So it does make it hard to bring on that impact bowler to really stop a pair scoring in their tracks.
And so I guess if you're not taking wickets, then the next best thing you can do is build that pressure through some dot ball management. I'm sure sometimes it's the little goals. You know, you can't always go out there and take wickets like a madman, but you know, maybe just 1 or 2 dot balls and over, maybe that can be your target.
Jono's bowled himself now, and he's another very good leg spinner. So it looks like they're trying to take a wicket here. he'd probably be their best bowler.
Moving the fielders a little bit straighter. And that ball's called leg side.
That spun a mile.
It is really going to grip on this pitch in particular.
He's very quick through the air, Jono, as well. You can't really get down to him. And he does have a slider and a wrong-un.
He's at the top of his mark now, considering what he's going to throw down. We wait. And again, Trav Baker just rocking back and hitting that high into the springs, completely removing the fielding side from any opportunity to get to the ball. 48, Cranbourne move forward.
Bold.
And he's really thrown the kitchen sink at that one, as Mitch Gregory.
He doesn't normally hold back that much, Mitch. Yeah, if you get one up there, he's going to have a crack. He's just axed that one up as well. He hit that one very hard. Well bowled. Good run, good early call from Travi.
And at this stage, you'd say that Cranbourne haven't really given too many opportunities for dismissals. They're really starting to bat the Seahawks out of the game. Hasn't been any kind of miscued shots. The communication between the batters has been very good. There's been limited opportunities for runouts, if at all.
Yeah, it's been very solid so far. And the score's reflecting that. They're already up to 53 with an over to go on this pair. So this could look like a 30-35 pair very easily as well.
Yeah, Justin Perkins at the beginning of this batting partnership did say that possibly even a 40 could be considered.
They've bowled pretty well, Southern Bayside, here to restrict these two. Yeah, they just need to find a wicket somewhere. And look, they've brought on Louis again to bowl. So they are trying to take wickets here. So they could come back to bite them when they get a less experienced Cranbourne pair out third or fourth. They've used up some of their better bowlers now.
So this is the last over of this batting partnership. Rocking back again into the springs, Mitch Gregory. So they're going to stick with the 2-on leg. Expect this ball to be somewhere in that awkward hip region. We'll see if that's where it goes. And it doesn't. It's the old sucker delivery.
Oh.
Getting back and making his ground. We'll see if we can bring you the replay. It was a nice bit of fielding, but making his ground quite quickly. Yeah, he was back in home. And the ball running away for the additional run, 56. Cranbourne move forward. 4 deliveries remaining in this 8th over. And that's what happens when you're on top. You miscue a little shot and it just, nothing bad happens to you, you know. It just hits the net.
Just squeezes out for a nice 2.
Of course, as always, we do welcome your comments at the Cricket Australia Indoor Facebook page. Leave a comment myself or Justin Perkins. Love to give you a shout out. As we come to the last over of this batting pair. So it was Trav Barker and Mitch Gregory that did bat second, as we predicted. So a process of an elimination. Jay Jam and Aaron Pebbles would be probably next.
Yep, they are. Oh, that was a half chance.
That would have been awfully close.
I reckon that may have been short if that hit direct. That was a good bit of work by Jordan. Just did everything right except hit the stumps. Yeah, you would have been short. Oh, they've got one.
Well, that's a timely wicket, isn't it? And Trav Barker looks at his batting partner there, Mitch Gregory, and says, dear, that's not the one. That wasn't in the game plan.
Let's just open the door for Cricket Southern Bayside here. That's what they needed. They bowled 3 of their better bowlers then, and they needed to get one, and they have. Are you on? I think we've got big Jiffy Latham coming on, boys. That might do me. I might go sneak
have another lemonade, yes.
Yeah, and we'll get Jiffy on.
Thank you very much,
I'll
Justin Perkins. Yes, we'll see you very shortly.
Thanks, Gary.
Follow that up, mate. So, of course, here, Tweedledee and Tweedledum in the commentary box with these two. In here comes the next one, Jeffrey Latham. How are you, good sir?
Yeah, good. We got the rattle out of the box now, so...
Yeah, bring in the professionals, you reckon, mate?
That's it.
What's JJ's bat? What bat's JJ
So
using?
Sam Wettering coming in for his second. We've got Jay Jam and Aaron Pebbles, and I'm sitting next to a man who's sporting quite the look. I've got to bring attention to it, mate. That hairdo, talk to me, brother. We've gone the old top deck. He's bleach peroxided. Can I call it white? It is white, isn't it?
Yeah, it's close to it.
And your natural colour, mate. I'm going to say something right now, and I don't want you to think any less of me, but you look absolutely stunning.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. I'm getting a bit of a mixed response, but I'm glad that you like it, mate.
Getting a mixed response. That's brilliant. No, mate. It's always good stuff.
Yeah, you got to distract them from something when I'm on the court. So
yeah, well, that's it, mate. And speaking of distractions, these guys here, Cranbourne, they are just chuffing along. There was a little bit of a false play in the second batting partnership there. It's, Van Hees just playing on, but Cranbourne, 63. Justin Perkins seems to think that'd be, and that's awfully close too. I'm sure that would have been out had that had. Well, of course it would have been out. That it was a bold delivery. Of course it would have been out.
He was, I think, looking to get on the back foot there, and it might not have quite been short enough. On these courts, it's you want to be going back a fair bit, just because it's going to set up a lot. And if you're looking for it too much, I mean, Sammy slid in one that was a little bit fuller, and it nearly slipped through.
So Justin Perkins seems to think a pass score around here would be around that 90 or 100.
Yeah, with these courts, you know, it's a bit slow. It brings and the nets are quite tight. It brings the field into play a fair bit. You've got to really hit the ball well to get it over the fielders. So if Southern Bayside can take a couple chances here, all of a sudden, you know, they're back in the game and might be looking at 90 for the innings.
And you know, I'm 100% on board with everything you just said, by the way. I think if they can just get a wicket or two, I think they only need the slightest little sniff here, the Seahawks. And if they do, they're going to be a real show. They just need those chances to come. And the trick is, of course, they got to take that chance when it presents itself. There's no good that opportunity coming, and then you got 10 thumbs and the ball spills away.
Well, exactly. And it just takes one wicket. Here's a chance.
And there's a bit of luck. It's not out. Gee, he must have been very quick to get down the other end. Aaron Pebbles, I'd love to see a replay. I think the ball really did balloon up after striking the fielder.
Yeah, the key there was that he didn't hesitate at all. So trusted the call and got on his bike. Good shot there from Peebles, but that's what I was saying. If you're a little bit back of the length, you can't afford to be, because you're straight on the back foot as a batsman, and it's easy runs. But yeah, if Southern Bayside can get a wicket here, it does open things up, and then they got to get on a roll. So they got to take advantage of that, really put them under a bit of pressure and take advantage.
Yeah, and at the moment, with the absolute utmost and greatest respect for Simon Vavarok, of course, but some may argue that he would be one of the weaker bowlers in the attack. There's a bit of a mix-up there. That's good. You know, a lot of the other guys, not of course that Simon Vavarok's a poor player, but it's just the other players are an overly strong player, moving the ball around. You know, you got some spinners that are just moving it both ways, quite a long distance, and hooping it in. So, and with 8 players, there's always needs to be one that is going to be towards the bottom, and I think that was just it there. So there was absolutely no dramas whatsoever from the Cranbourne batters getting through and navigating that over. 71 they moved to.
Yeah, I think he did finish well though. He's got his length right there at the end. You want to be pitching it up, not up so far where you can allow the batsman to drive, but where the ball's getting to about knee height, knee to mid-thigh height, and that's when you're not sure whether to go back or forwards, and it's tough as a spinner because it does slow up. Oh, and that's a perfect length.
So we do come into a third ball situation, of course. The score must change. Yeah, and
There
given
we
out.
go.
Exactly what the doctor ordered, Mr. Latham.
Yeah, and now they've got to really put him under the pump here. Try and bring on that second or third wicket and put him under the strangle.
Yeah, it's a really good call there by umpire Potts as well. The number 3, Aaron Pebbles, having to leave his crease. He doesn't have to leave right away. We're in the striker's end for those playing the home game. But he's got to go at some stage. Trying to make up for it right away, and he does.
And that's just the slight over pitching, and that's why it's so hard balling spin here. If you do over pitch and someone's quick to get on that front foot, it's really easy to drive. And then a bit short, so the margin for error is so small here.
Yeah, you certainly do have to have it on a string. And he's hit through the line there as well. And that's going to go full. They're going to look for 2, and they're going to get it. Outstanding batting. Good communication. And the Seahawks not getting across to that one in time.
And that's costly. After getting that wicket early in the over, they really need to string another 1 or 2 together after that to get back in the game. But with a couple shots to the back net, all of a sudden that becomes a really good over for the Cranbourne Kings.
Yep, things moving along quite nicely, and some wonderful pictures being brought to you by our broadcast partners, Sportscast. It looks absolutely glorious here at Casey Stadium. And pretty good atmosphere too. Healthy crowd behind us and over to the left. The DJ who's come in to get the atmosphere going. I know that the girls, previous to this game, mate, they were bopping along, they were dancing, they were loving it, mate.
Well, we actually had state training before this, and the big man Roscoe, Ross Gregory, walks over to us and he goes, "I requested this one," and all of a sudden you hear some bit of slow classical music. And that's some more. That's not what we need to pump up the crowd in.
No, mate. Might send you to sleep. Yeah.
But since then, the DJ's been great, as long as he stops listening to Roscoe.
Yeah, DJ Roscoe, I can't see you taking off. Hit straight back down. Good bit of fielding, getting across to it quick. There was Benji Gore. And it was one of those real awkward ones where sometimes you can hit the stumps and then ricochet away for a 5, but it's just missed, so that was good, covering it well. It's an awfully close delivery. Wouldn't mind seeing a replay if there's an opportunity, but I think I've left my request too late. I'm a goose. I'm a goose of the highest order. I know umpire Andrew Potts always watches the games back to see how he went.
Yeah, he's pretty sharp, Botsy. He's one of the best in the business.
Might give him a bit of homework there to see if that one was. So continuing on here, straight up and
here.
down.
That's again really good communication from the 2 batsmen, but he was seeing the replay.
Let's see if it was that no ball. Oh no, that was the one before it. Good communication between the batters there. Quite often mistakes happen. Aaron Pebbles, he wasn't moving. He was back like a panther. Again, good communication, good early call.
Yeah, they finished off the pair well. They're the Seahawks, even though they didn't quite get that wicket to
that's
bring
a
in
no
the next
ball
pair.
off the pitch.
Oh, was he got one wrong? Did
no,
he?
no, he got one right. He called it a no.
Right.
Yeah,
Good.
You'll be happy to hear that.
Nah, but a few good balls to finish off the partnership there. Just got Jay mixed up between going to the offside or the leg side, and ended up playing them straight down the wicket. But again, the two batsmen were on the same wavelength with their calling. It's easy to get a mix up there and get a run out, and all of a sudden, you're bringing that next pair on with momentum with the other side. So they did well to close it out, but really good bowling as well.
Well, you'd expect to see a pretty hard push here. I've got absolutely no doubt they'd be aiming to keep this total under 100, and conversely, the Cranbourne Kings would be keen to pump it up over those triple digits. Just quickly, if watching this has got you all pretty excited and keen on playing indoor cricket, of course, head to playcricket.com.au to find your nearest centre. Big thank you, of course, to Burley, the official ball supplier of the National Indoor Cricket League. Good start. Good dot ball pressure. And Jeffrey Latham, I know that you're a very keen listener into the Yellow Ball podcast.
Of course.
Good answers, mate.
No, it's a great initiative that you've started up there, and just gives us a little bit more exposure into the game. And I know there's a lot of us nuffies out there that love any sort of exposure we can get.
Yeah, mate, it is really good, of course, proudly supported by Cricket Australia. They're wonderful supporters of the podcast, and it really comes together with all the states and territories, I'll tell you what. And there's been... Yes, that is a wicket.
Saucy.
As we go. Let's not worry about the Yellow Ball podcast for a second, because it's Luke Baker down there who's been run out with a very clever piece of fielding. Smooth Criminal comes on, and I tell you what, they've stolen that wicket there because it wasn't on, and it looks like it's Jordan Esline who's got across to that. Yeah,
yep. I think Luke might have just been a bit slow to get on that run there. Maybe it wasn't the early call that so he couldn't go straight away, and that's what that last pair was so good at. They were on the same wavelength. They knew when they were going, and it was just that slight bit of hesitation, and doesn't take much for Saucy. He'll run you out.
He was all over that ball like white on rice in a glass of milk on a paper plate in a snowstorm. Is -1 for this batting partnership. I'm getting it.
That's one of your best, mate. I like
that. Mate. It only took me 8 years to get it right. So we talked about the Seahawks wanting to keep this score under 100, and at the moment they're well on target. This is good from them.
Ooh.
And I don't mind the old little backflip there by Coda Ferries as well. So this is good.
Yeah, well, only one run off that first over, so they've got the momentum. Things are going their way now, and they've really got to capitalise on it. The fielding stepped it up a little bit. They might have identified Luke Baker as the end to go to, so that's the same one they went to that time. Just missed the direct hit.
While we're throwing out kudoses to all the states and territories and Cricket Australia for their ongoing support of the Yellow Ball podcast, a very big shout out to Indoor Sports Victoria. You guys are absolutely sublime when it comes to the support of the podcast by getting in interviews. Even the mayor of Casey, she got interviewed today.
Oh,
yes,
right.
yes, Amanda Stapleton. She came down. She met with the under-14 Victorian girls side, talked about her real keen interest in indoor cricket. She's very excited that we're bringing our show to town, and quite a moving interview. In fact, her son Peter is 25 years old, and he has autism, and he's got quite a number of conditions which make it very difficult for him to speak, if at all, just really only sounds, and it's quite close to her heart, the initiatives that Cricket Australia have in place with the Lord Taverners Shield that gets played in conjunction with the Open Men's and the Open Women's competition. So we really value the LTS component. So we poured some honey potion in her ear, and she's waking up to saying, "Cricket Australia, Cricket Australia." She was right on board, Amanda Stapleton. So a big thank you to the City of Casey for providing time for the mayor to come down and have a chat. And all that content on the next episode of the Yellow Ball podcast.
It's great. It's great to see the support, and even in this new stadium, they've got basketball courts everywhere. We walked down for training just the other day on Thursday, and there was a bit of that going on the basketball courts as well. So they're very supportive of all ability sport all round. So
very
it's
all
great to
inclusive.
see.
Very all inclusive indeed. Not a bad chase there. You could see Jono D'Orazio really trying to move to get to that ball, and now he's pointing around a little bit of traffic to his teammates going, we need to kind of clean that up, because he looked like he was doing it all on his own. Of course, if you are enjoying the broadcast, hit the share button. It'd be an absolute travesty not for the outstanding talents of these players not to be highlighted all across the world. Over 70 teams across Australia, 7-0. Enormous amount of teams will be playing regular matches until about mid-August. That's 9 men's divisions and 6 women's divisions. And teams will be vying for a share of $45,000 in prize money.
Yeah, it's a great competition they've got running. I think this is the third year of it, and
yep,
it's definitely well supported all around the country, and the amount of talent that's showing up is fantastic.
And I don't know about you, mate, but for me, without any live stream games on last weekend, it sucked, mate.
I didn't know what to do with myself. What am I doing with my Sunday afternoons, evenings? I don't know.
I said to Adelaide Campion in the previous broadcast, it was a fish milkshake, mate. It just stank. It stank. It stinks. It was the great garbage bin fire of life, mate. No indoor cricket on a weekend for a live stream. I mean, grow up. Give it to us. But, of course, did collide with Mother's Day, and traditionally it's always a bit tricky to get some of the teams and everyone up and about for Mother's Day.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that is good fielding. That's very, very good fielding. But even better running between the sticks there. The score moves along. I like what I saw. Good intent.
They're starting to tick towards that 100-run mark here, so Seahawks will be very keen to get that wicket.
Change of pace. He was looking for the 3 there, and if that's rolled to the 4, I think it has. Oh, it's Chloe Yip. Chloe Yip, the photographer, goes barreling over out the back as she goes, Chloe, I don't want you to say my name on the broadcast, you goose. Oh, sorry, Chloe. So Chloe brings out some wonderful shots. Quite a talented photographer.
Yeah.
Pretty talented indoor cricketer too, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a look at some of her shots from the women's game before this, and there's some absolutely sensational pics. So no doubt she's getting some great ones here. And yeah, like you said, she's been playing Open Women's, I think, for probably 4 or 5 years now. So
yeah,
very talented herself.
And I tell you what, off the court, absolutely nice as pie. Absolutely nice as pie. I think I got a no ball wrong once with her when I was umpiring, mate. Oh, the absolute stink eye. Absolute stink eye. Well, okay, Chloe. No. I'm just mucking around. I'm having a bit of fun, mate.
Nah, she's a treat.
Yeah, she is a treat. Oh, that's a good bit of fielding right there as well. It's a shame you can't get even a -2 for some effort, because that was pretty good. 105, the score moves on to. A wicket here goes without saying would be exactly what the doctor ordered, but they're starting to peak at the right time, this batting pair. Very consistent all across the 4 skins. Let's have a look at them. 29, 26, 30. We're currently sitting at 22.
And that makes it really tough for the team batting second as well to structure their pairs. You know, you can't really, if you do have a weak pair, you can't, you know, put it up against the small total, because there isn't one.
Yep.
And then again, it's hard to know when to put your strong pair in, because, you know, which one do you think they can chase, and maybe you have to go for what's better for the chase. You know, do you put them in early, try and give yourself a chance, or do you try and leave them late to bring it home?
Yeah, that's a very valid point. As we watch the last delivery of this over, a bit of a non-shot. So it's good 2-dot balls there from Jordan Hesline. That'll certainly help things. It says third ball on the screen, but of course no third ball, because that's the end of the innings. Be a bit rough to come back next week and start on third ball, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be very fair.
No, it wouldn't be. I'm not a big fan of that.
No real change.
I face enough third balls as it is, mate.
Tell me about it, brother. Mate, I spent so long down the non-strikers there, and they start redirecting my mail down there. You know what I'm saying? Camped down there. So 110. Well, where do you see that? Is it it's enough to get him through, you think?
Well, look, it's a little bit above par. Like Juddy said earlier, 90 to 100 is probably your par scores. So I think Cranbourne will be happy with that. But it is still chaseable. You know, if Southern Bayside can get off to a good start, if their first pair can get through without getting out, they're looking at 30 runs to start with, maybe a little bit more. And all of a sudden, that takes a little bit of pressure off the rest of the order, and they're looking pretty sharp. So that's what they'll be looking for. I reckon they'll come out with some strong bats and try and get off the mark well.
And you know, I'm a real stats man. I love crunching the numbers, and the average score for Cranbourne in the last 3 games has been 109.33, and they've gone out and they've scored 110.
How's that for consistency, mate?
Hello, Vicar. Hello, Vicar. You're the man, baby. That's right on the money. Very few things in life bring me much joy, mate, but I'm telling you, numbers that work is numbers that work. So, I mean, let's not get bogged down in too many statistics because their average for the season's 80.17. But, you know, hey, it works well for the 109.33. So if we're going to be looking at the average conceded in their last 3 games, if that's going to be a bang-on dead guide, that's going to tell us the Seahawks are going to come out and get 44.33. So, heavens to Betsy, let's hope that doesn't occur if you're a Seahawks fan.
They are a very sharp fielding side. They've got some superstars in there. You know, Trav Baker, he's played for Australia, and he's typically that big left hand and intimidating factor if he's fielding it cover on the 3 line. You almost just don't run if you hit it to him in his area. So you've got him, you've got Josh Gregory, he's pretty strong on the leg side, and then his brother Mitch, who's in the Opens this year. And then a couple up-and-coming young kids. You've got Dan and Jay Jam. You know, they can bring out some absolute superstar plays as well. So they've got a lot of X factors in this team.
Yeah, they do have a few tools on the belt. As we look at that ladder, just keeping you on your toes, Sportscast. Well, Jeffrey Latham's about to vacate the hot seat, and we're going to say hello to Justin Perkins as he comes back in. So,
cover your ears, folks. This is going to be a tough ride.
And Jeffrey Latham, the unemployed comedian, passes on the thing.
He's probably saying how good he is as well.
Oh, mate. Well, we were talking you up a little bit at the beginning of the broadcast, so you know we were saying you go all right, but we were actually just talking about how the average score for the last 3 games for Cranbourne's been 109.33. They've gone out and they've scored 110, so it's right on the knocker. If we're going to look at the average score this season for the Seahawks, it's 68.17, and the last 3 games average is 66. So that's a really tight grouping. So that would say to you that there's a pretty red-hot chance that's wow, that's a pretty quick way to start there, JGM. My goodness, fella, you're allowed to ease into it, son. You know, it tells you that maybe the mid-60s is where they're looking at for a Seahawks score.
Yeah, I reckon they'll be around that mark. 4 pretty good skins. So it's gonna be tough work to pinch one here off Cranny. This is the pair. I think this would be their best batting pair.
Well, they've sent him out chasing 29 for the skin, leg side. That'll be certainly welcome. Getting a fair bit of feedback on social media, Cricket Australia Indoor Facebook page, Cricket AUS Indoor. People aren't loving in the first innings the 2 gloves.
Yeah, it's no good. He's got to sort that out.
Is that akin to an outdoor wicketkeeper wearing short sleeves, mate?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yes, I don't. You got to throw the ball a lot, so you got to be able to throw it with some power down the top end.
You can already see in the field, they're really up and about. They're on that ball.
Got Josh Gregory on the back net. Don't know how he got up there. They must be trying to hide him.
Well, you're saying that he moves like the Queen Mary, mate.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's been doing it for a few weeks. I haven't taken any notice. Good hands, actually.
Yeah, pretty soft. And I think that was Dan Van Heest down there who got that ball. Just watch that replay. Who was
Gregory.
it? Yes, it was, in fact. Gee, he's really got a hold of that ball and let it rip. That's the one thing that, I mean, there's plenty of things, but one thing in particular that I really love seeing in indoor cricket is those athletes that just get to that ball and kind of just turn and throw in one motion and just beautiful, clean service.
The fielding's definitely the highlight of the game, I think.
It's pretty special, isn't it?
The swinging ball's good as well. You see the ball swinging around. But the fielding definitely. When someone gets one of those really good run-outs and the whole crowd stops and goes, oh, wow, then you know you've seen something special. You already see Cranbourne a lot sharper in the field than what Cricket Southern Bayside were. The pressure's right on them every single ball.
And that is a really salient point, or a really important point that, you know, oh, that's going to wipe the whiskers right off his chin. You know, every time they hit the ball, they're kind of a bit under pressure to get that run. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, contrast with Cranbourne, there was plenty of opportunity, correct, where they could just coast on down. Front foot from Andrew Potts, the umpire. Travis Barker looks at him and goes, are you sure about that? I think Travis just keeps getting quick. I reckon he gets about 2 kilometres quicker every time I see him. He is absolutely sending thunderbolts. Like, I don't want to be out there, you know, like.
Oh, that was close.
That's some scary stuff, hombre.
Yeah, it'd be good to have him back in the open men's this year, that's for sure. I think his last game he played for Victoria, he broke one of the Queenslanders' thumbs.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shot. That's going to go straight into the highlights reel. Joshua Gregory. My goodness, sir. He was on this ball. Oh,
That's
2 hands to it as well.
Lucky he went straight to him. He wasn't going to be moving much, was he?
Well, and doesn't he love it too? Big smile on his face. If he was wearing lipstick, he'd have red earlobes. Oh, the punters behind me enjoy it.
A few of the opens boys hanging around to watch after we just trained.
Yeah, that's an outstanding grab.
Oh, it didn't even look like Trav was going to get to that. So he's done well. Left hand. Another quickie here. So they've opened up probably their 3 quick bowlers here.
Yeah, I was about to say, mate, they're really throwing some artillery here. Quite interesting as well. I mean, Jeffrey Latham talked about it previously as well. It's a pretty even spread of skins, 29, 26, 30, 25. Like, there's not really one that's a good delivery, called good and rightfully so.
This is one of the better pairs, but if I was captaining out there, I might have snuck in one of the weaker bowlers.
Well, while you got him on the ropes before and you're defending 29, this would probably be the opportunity to get one in. Yep. I agree.
Without going for too many. Hopefully if you can jag a wicket, even better. The skin's almost dead. Squeeze in. Yeah, one of the 6, 7, 8 kind of bowler in line, and then if they get hit around, you can bring on another strike bowler if you have to off that last over. If they take a wicket, you can squeeze in someone else.
There's a chance here, and they've really muffed that one up, and they know it too. Cranbourne did everything right there. I think it was Travis Barker there at the front. It was, yes. Moving in very quick, right onto that exclusion zone. Watching the bat, seeing where the ball was going to go before it went.
Oh, shot. That's a great shot off the hip.
That one just bounces back down to the receiver. Nothing really doing there. It's one of those ones where you feel you're like, oh, God, I wish I could do something with that, but I can't, you know. It's just frustrating. You're like, oh, you bugger. Direction change, good. Acknowledged by umpire Potts. Getting some massive angle on it, and that's a clinic. That is an absolute clinical display.
Great fielding by Pat Beckham on the 3 line there.
we watch this replay, just picking it up and turning and throwing, knowing exactly where the stumps were. And it's all about that placement on the court, isn't it? You know, where your feet are placed, where your body's placed, that gives you that indication of where you're situated. You know, the 3 lines just in front of me, I know I'm kind of this close to the pitch. I've got a good indication of where I need to let go of this ball in quick time.
That was a great bit of work. Did everything right there, Pat. Smart player, Pat. Just does his job week in, week out. I reckon they've squeezed in one of the weaker bowlers now, Josh Gregory. The skin's over and done, and they've brought Josh on with no danger of getting hit for 25 runs. Well, maybe a little bit of danger, but...
Oh, what a stitch up.
Let's see what happens. Right arm slow. Oh, he's almost got a wicket.
A little bit of argy-bargy in there. The umpire looks down at the players. The players look at the umpire. The umpire... There's nothing to say. He just continues on. Well, that'd be an interesting replay because there's a pretty despondent Jono D'Orazio looking at the other end. We might have to get a couple of different looks at it. This will show it.
Oh, I reckon that... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's claimed it. You give him the benefit.
It's going to be one of those ones where on
We
your
need another
socials
angle,
you have to
boys.
slow it right down.
Get the boys to give us another angle on that. No, I reckon that's gone. It looks like it's gone in there.
Yeah, I reckon that's a catch.
He's popped his thumb out in the process as well.
Oh yeah, he has. He's split his thumb quite nicely there. We're looking at it. Yeah, that's cracked him right across. Kind of, I'm just looking at my thumb to try and explain it. When you're looking at your thumb, that kind of first wrinkle or crease line that goes across, running left to right, pretty much right along that.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Split.
Might be popped out or worse, broken.
I highly doubt that he'll be back.
The situation of the game, I think he just put on the ice for the night. It's not like they're in danger of losing this one, I don't think, now. Be interesting to see if they've got a sub fielder down here.
Yeah, well, I wasn't
There's
sure.
only a 2 minute break, isn't it? Is that right?
Yes.
2 minute break, so they're going to have to work something out pretty quickly.
I think I can see someone over there getting their kit off now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Either they've had too many sherbets and they've got nothing to do with the game, and they're just taking their clothes off for no particular
he's a
reason.
cranny boy. I don't know his name. He'll be able to subfield. Ooh.
So we might see if somebody can get us the name of the substitute fielder that's coming on. I'm looking out the back to me, and Jeffrey Latham's giving me absolute donuts. He's giving me absolutely nothing.
His name's Aaron. That's all we can give you at the moment.
Cool, so he's like Cher?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he plays some second grade kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, maybe I might be able to have a look at the old stats page here. And
it's a long 2 minutes, isn't it?
it's in umpire time, mate.
I was talking Potsy up earlier. He's missed a trick here.
Aaron Fernando is the man who's going to come in. And, well, mate, if you'd like, you can certainly go back and time the 2 minutes, mate. It's on the live stream.
I reckon we're already over now. I'd say we'd be already over it right now. He hasn't even called him for hurry up or anything.
So, how many overs has he bowled?
That's his first
That's
one.
his first.
So I think they're going to have to pick.
Yeah.
They can.
You
Pick.
get a crack at
I'll
the
have a crack.
yeah.
I know my rules. I should know it.
You're really
So
rolling the dice now, mate. Yeah,
I
go.
think Cranny pick
It's
a bowler
tricky.
now to finish this over. They can pick whoever they want. And then at the start of the last pair, Cricket Southern Bayside pick the bowler they want to bowl, and they can bowl them at any stage in that last pair. That's what I think it is.
How confident are you?
Oh, I reckon that's pretty close. The only thing is, it might be Southern Bayside pick someone that's Craney can pick someone that's already bowled an over maybe to finish this over.
You're right the first time, mate.
Right the first time, yeah.
Absolute dead on it.
Spot on.
Yep.
So they can bowl whoever they... And for Josh Gregory to only bowl 2 balls, get a wicket, and then for Craney to pick whoever they want, that's a win for them. Josh would probably say he'd get another 3 wickets, but... with his right arm slows.
Aaron Fernando, according to the information that I have in front of me, has not played a game.
No, he's been playing seconds.
So it was probably evident when he came out
So
there and
they've
he started
Pat
shaking
to bowl. That's interesting, because I would have bowled... Ooh, if I was Trav, I would be bowling myself. If I was Travis, I would have thought for the last 4 balls.
The batting side choose the bowler.
The batting side does.
Yes.
Someone to anyone they want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought that's what you said the
no,
first time.
I said that I thought Craney could bowl who they wanted.
Ah, my apologies. I was not paying.
So I wasn't far off.
Attention.
It's a pretty rare occurrence to see something like that.
Oh, mate, and you should see the ones when it gets really curly, like this
Pat's actually quite a good bowler on these wickets as well. Big off cutters.
Yeah, so the real crazy one is like when there's someone who's already a player short, so then you've got to pick someone to obviously bowl the 15th and the 16th over, and then you have exactly what just happened then where someone's done it. So then what happens is they've got to pick one bowler to bowl in the... Well, this game's still on, guys. Only hasn't called over yet. So then they've got to pick someone to bowl in the 14th or the 13th or the 14th, the only the two, because they've already got to pick someone for the 15th and the 16th, and it can't be consecutive.
Yeah,
mate, it's a circus of the 3-ring con when that happens. But I have only seen that happen twice, and it's pretty rare. And hopefully, everyone at home understood what the hell we were just talking about. Trapper John on the socials says, fun fact, Josh took a hat-trick last week. Is this true?
Yeah, probably against Geelong, I would have thought, Trapper. So, does that count?
Oh,
maybe,
savage.
Maybe not. No, he does take wickets. He's probably not one of their better bowlers, is what I was saying. I know Josh. I'll give him, he does a bit of commentary as well. I owe him a couple of clips.
Well, I'm looking at Josh's overs last week against the North Geelong Super Cats. No hat-trick in there. 2 bowls in a row in the 14th over.
Yeah, it would have been against Geelong. They're a new centre as well. They've just started playing. Croydon and Cranbourne both played Geelong and North Geelong in Geelong last week. And I think Geelong would have struggled probably to get 20 runs for the 2 games combined. But again, new centre, they've just started, they've learned in the game, so it's good to see them playing. Just like Southern Bayside, all these guys, very new players, first seasons playing. They're only going to learn.
It was the game previous to that, my friends, the Geelong Jets, again in the 14th over. So the like bowling Josh in the 14th over, a stumped and 2 run-outs.
Yeah, that's how slow he bowls, he gets stumpings. Oh, they've got away with that Southern Bayside there. It's been a good over by Luke.
So thanks very much for bringing that to our attention, Trapper John. Have their Cricket Australia indoor Facebook page, sorry. So the Seahawks really beginning to flounder in the water a bit here, 11.
I wouldn't say this is one of their stronger pairs either, so we'll see what happens. They both have a bit of a hit. They might get away with it and have a sniff at the skin.
So we did talk about it. The average score for this squad is somewhere in the mid-60s. But it's also pretty important to keep in mind that...
How many skins they've won?
I'll have a look for you. I can do that. Cranbourne have only conceded an average of 44.33. So, you know, if they keep them down to 44.33, then that's what Cranbourne have been doing to teams this season.
Cranbourne will be pretty keen to get the 4 skins tonight. I think that puts them into second on the ladder as well, jumping over Casey.
So the Seahawks have won 7 skins in their 6 games.
We might have Ross Gregory coming on for a chat soon.
No.
Why not? He's here, open men's coach.
Well, I'm not too sure if Ross Gregory's aware, but he will be coming on to the Yellow Ball podcast at some stage this year. He doesn't know that yet. But
good chance to tell him now.
I have it on good authority that indoor cricket administrator Brianna Binch...
Just throwing him under the bus.
Yes, Brianna Binch has told me that Mr. Gregory will be coming on the podcast. So we look forward to that chat at the upcoming national tournament.
He doesn't look too happy about it either.
Well, when you've got an indoor cricket Hall of Famer, you can't not have him on. And you're in good company too, because we've had David Shepley already on the podcast and a Miss Donna Dolby. So you really couldn't be the odd one out, Mr. Gregory. He's in the commentary box having a chat, having a chat to us.
I've been tuning into that. Have you done the 3rd episode yet? I might have missed it.
Yes, done the 3rd episode.
So I've listened to the first 2. I'll have to catch up on that.
Yep, got the 3rd one. And
any umpires coming on? We got someone from... I know you had Shep, but...
Yeah, we did have Shep.
Tournament director now.
No, I won't have anyone from the umpiring community on at this stage. Do you think it's of interest?
Yeah, you got to get their part of the game as well.
That they are. And
get their perspective on a... You don't often hear from the umpires much. It'd be good to hear what they think. And I speak to a few of them a fair bit when I'm away. And it sounds like the week's just as taxing for them mentally up there as it is for us physically playing a week of games.
Yeah, well, I suppose arguably that they're there for more games than what the players play. Obviously, it's not physically taxing, but mentally it most certainly is. The players there on the court for 16 overs while they're fielding and 4 for when they're batting. So that's 20 overs of a 36 game, whereas the umpire is out there for the entirety of it. And the other thing to really keep in mind, when an umpire gets a decision wrong, you think, oh, he got that run out wrong, Well, he's actually made, or her, can I say, every delivery they make seven decisions. Did they push off the back net? No, they didn't. They've come in. Is it a front foot no ball? No, it's not. They've released the ball, so now the back court can now come into the front court. Now they have. Is it a wide? Is it a leg side? Okay, they've hit the ball. How many runs is it? Is it a run out? Is it not? So within one delivery, they've made 6 or 7 decisions.
Yeah, it's a tough gig.
So in 1 over, there's 36 or 40 decisions. So they make thousands and thousands of decisions a week. And I always used to think it quite funny when someone would say, oh, you got that run out wrong. So, hey, you know what? I've actually made 120,000 decisions this week, and if I only got one wrong, I'm actually pretty stoked.
Yeah, no, it's a tough gig. I started out, that's how I got into indoor cricket. I started out umpiring during the week when I was 15. I was playing and then got into that, and that's how it all started.
And look, by the same token, as an umpire makes a mistake, players drop catches. Players get bowled. So unfortunately it happens. But the difference between a poor umpire and a good umpire is the length of time between when those errors take place.
Consistency. You always hear the players talking about, oh, he just gave that one out, then he gave the same one not out the ball after. Yes.
And certainly another quite a bugbear for a lot of players sometimes, and it doesn't happen very often, but when the umpires start guessing their decisions also, things get a little bit tense out there. And the overwhelming vast majority of what an umpire does is just about safety, separating those two teams, and person management. And there's certainly no requirement, and I'm a massive advocate for this. There is absolutely no requirement for an umpire to be over-injecting themselves into the game. Yeah. People don't come to watch umpires umpire, they come to watch players play. They're the stars of the show. And if there's a requirement for the umpire to be involved, then by all means. But Yes, umpires over-injecting themselves. Oh, and that's going to be out-given. Yes, I thought I did hear something from back here.
They were just edging up on that skin as well. So that's a timely wicket for Cranbourne.
So thanks very much to our friends at Sportscast. They'll bring us the Snicko technology.
Where's hotspot? You got a hotspot?
If we can just... yeah. If we could just rock and roll that for a moment. Check the no ball front foot. So
yeah, if that was a 2, they're on 17 going into that last over, looking at 26. So that wicket's almost iced the skin for Cranny here.
Yeah, I think you might be quite right.
Big R17 here.
And I'm not quite sure how it was almost Julian was short of his ground then, because he had plenty of time to run through, but Julian Drowan.
Oh.
How nice is good indoor cricket when it happens? Like, it's just mint, isn't it?
I reckon Paddy might be able to swing an in-swinger through the gate here. If he bowls it, he doesn't bowl it that much.
And he's that one just go a bit straighter or even going the other way there. So he's really keeping the batsman guessing as we come into third ball.
You see, he might bowl in-swinger now. Oh, looks like he's holding it for an innie. Cutter again. Cody good enough. So there's that 2 balls left. They can have a dip. Dip at the skin.
Well,
Julian,
look,
maybe.
why not, mate?
I may as well.
90 behind on the scoreboard. I would.
Oh, leg side. That's
helps.
Handy.
That
10 off
helps.
2 5s.
Give it a crack, young fella. Have a go.
Another leg side would be handy.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Oh, so it's straight back to him.
Well, he's had the mindset there. He has tried to play straight.
He's tried to cash in.
So that's
16's pretty good. It's not a bad skin. 2 off this last one, maybe. Take 18. Oh, he's going to get 3. No. 1. Bad luck. Good shot. 17. We spoke about it at the start of the game. They're a very young side, so they'll take that as a little win for them coming off there, I think.
Oh, by all means.
I think I'm done.
Oh, he's been punted.
Yeah, Jeff, he's back in the seat.
He loves the commentators, Jeffrey Latham.
Lucky there's no camera on the commentators because his haircut is horrendous.
So certainly hope you're enjoying the broadcast back at home. They're the real larrikins down here in Victoria. There's no doubt about that. Just saying to all the sports fans at home that quite the larrikins here, the Victorian commentary team.
Yeah, well, apparently he was dogging me haircut. I was getting praise earlier from half of the commentary team.
Yeah, I know.
Nah, we're very sensible down here.
Yes, very, very sensible. Very sensible.
Tell you what, your prediction earlier for that second inning score was looking pretty spot on. I think it was 44, you said.
Yeah, that's where we were at. Let's go back to the figures. 44.3, I think it was. Yeah, 44.3. Obviously, good luck getting 0.3 of a run. So 44 is where it's at. I secretly hope, mate, if this is right, I'll tell you what. I'll go a bit gaga, I reckon.
What, you reckon we're the larrikins, do you?
Yeah.
So we got Luke Baker here bowling to Louis Salinger.
If you've just joined us, this is the 2019 National Indoor Cricket League Victoria East. Yes, it is the Victoria East Division. This is Cranbourne Kings taking on the Seahawks. Your commentators are Gary Lowe and Jeffrey Latham, and of course a very big thank you to Justin Perkins, who's been here in the commentary box, and earlier on Adelaide Campion and Sophie Jennings for their thoughts and insights on the game.
Who's your pick of the bunch of us, mate? if you had to choose one.
It's like kids, mate. You love them all the same.
You secretly got your favourite, though, don't you?
Yeah, of
Not
course,
gonna tell
mate.
anyone. We'll hit you up after the game.
110 plays 27. Yeah, there's a bit of confusion there from the players. I think that Luke Baker thought there was third ball, but it was just the scoreboard that had third ball when it wasn't a third ball. So that dot's now occurred, and I think it will be a third ball.
I think Jay Jan picked that up and was trying to fool the batsman as well, but they were on the ball, communicating to each other, which is good. I've been teaching Louis that. Juddy and I are actually coaching him for the under-15s Vic side this year, so I reckon a couple of games ago he probably would have fooled for it, but we've been hot on his tail.
Mate, it's the oldest trick shot in the book, isn't it, that one?
Yep.
All right, so it's going to be Aaron Pebbles. He's taken 7 wickets from his 5 games.
Ooh.
And that's a miss there by Jay Jam. He'd be expecting better of himself. I mean, it was a pretty tricky throw. I mean, it was right down at his toes. But
yeah, Mitch isn't looking after him too
well.
No,
he's really delivered him a bit of a crud on a hot plate. And that's going to sting, I reckon.
Yeah, Peebs has his radar on here. He's got 2, he clipped them both in the legs here, so that's where he'll be looking the ball for sure. It's hard to hit safe runs there.
Some advice from the gallery. Just said to Aaron Peebles, hey, mate, get him out. That's good advice. That's
well,
good sound advice.
If they could listen to that every ball, they'd be doing pretty well, I reckon.
That's like saying to a golfer, mate, hit it in the cup. He's done well there to pick that up.
Yeah, strong drive. It's pretty hard to get out to those wide and full ones. And Cranbourne's been able to pick up a few dot balls and build a bit of pressure with bowling that this innings. So he's done well to get it safe too. And there we go again, the Fulham white ball. I think they're expecting, after some copying a few balls in the legs early on in the over, throwing a few out wide to, build those dot balls up. It's worked well. And another change up, so he's mixed it up pretty well there.
Some questions on social media asking who the additional player is that's come out to play. It's Aaron Fernando's the name of the player there who's on that leg side 3 line. He's come out for
Josh Gregory.
An injured Josh Gregory, yes. And your batters at the moment are Benji Gore and Lewis Salinger.
Did you see what happened to Josh?
Yes.
Did he get caught up in the nets or something?
No, there was a low trajectory ball that had come back, and he's kind of gone to get his hands underneath it, and it's kind of pushed up against his thumb as he's trying to scoop it down underneath the ball. And it split his thumb quite nicely. Has he, do you know where he is? Is he still around, or is he off to hospital getting a couple of stitches?
I reckon he might have gone down to the local hospital. It was quite a gash there, and definitely going to need a couple of stitches to put that back together. But he'd be right. He didn't look too concerned.
And again, that's a couple of nick behinds that we've seen this evening.
There's some handy keeping there from Luke Baker. He's been good all night.
Yes, keeping with the one glove.
Geez, he's pretty happy with himself there too.
Just checking his shot there. Oh, that was pretty good. Quick release and throw from Paddy Beckham there. Really fast moving into the front half of the court. Just fix your eyes on him now as he comes in. You see, as soon as that ball's released, he's already out, and he's there again.
Yeah, he's looking pretty sharp there. That's definitely his spot, and he's had a couple of opportunities, and I think he's had a couple of wickets there as well. Some run-outs.
So really demonstrating to the boys and girls out there how to field on that offside sweep position. off, as some people like to call it. What do you call that little
Oh,
position?
just three-line offside.
Three-line offside. Three-line offside. Gone are the days of you sweeping back towards the receiver, mate. To make that's what it's meant to be. You're meant to run back every time with the ball.
You won't see me
Apparently.
doing that, but some of them still do it.
Yeah, the keen ones.
Yeah. We're drilling it into the juniors. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll figure it out and they'll do it as they keep growing.
Do what I say, don't do what I do.
Exactly,
that
mate.
kind
Well,
of
that's why I keep in the front court. You won't see me on the 3-line.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the extras, mate.
Nah, well, mate, they just replaced me with a pot plant the other week, mate, honestly. So, Josh Gregory on the social media. Is that the same Josh Gregory?
Yeah, that sure is.
It couldn't be two Josh Gregory, surely.
Yeah. His thumb mustn't be too bad if he's on the socials.
He's on the socials with his thumb. Well, Josh Gregory, tell us what's going on with your thumb. The beauty of the broadcast is we communicate through you through these means, mate. So tell us, what is it? Is it gone? They take it? Is giving thumbs up really hard for you for the foreseeable future? So it's really going to come down to this last skin if the Seahawks are going to come away with anything.
That must have been third ball, was it?
Yeah, and there's a good bit of patience there. Sometimes, because the striker, and this will be a good replay actually to describe it. So the striker maintains their ground. Quite often when the keeper, would have been close there as well, but quite often when the keeper takes those bails at the striker's end, they expect for it to be out, and then there's like, oh gosh, the non-striker's still running down, and sometimes they kerfuffle it a little bit.
Well, the easy thing to do is if you miss it, leave your crease and try and get up the other end, but you're just realistically making it tough for the non-striker to get in their crease and making it easy for the keeper. If you make it tough for the keeper, they've got to execute their throw up to the top stumps, and the receiver's got to make that play as well. You give yourself an opportunity, so he did the right thing by staying in his crease to the last moment. Well bowled, lovely cutter here on these decks. It does a fair bit, holds up and turns. So he's executed that well, and that pair comes out on 10. So your prediction again.
You're loving that, aren't you, mate? You're keen for it.
I can't believe it. Could really be on. You'll have to retire if this comes off. Retire on a high.
That'll be it.
Doesn't get any better than that for you.
Well, that's just that would be as good as it gets, you know. I mean, 109.33 was that average, and that's where I ballparked at 110, and then I said the average for these guys coming out to bat would be 44. So give me a 44 or a 45, and I'll go buy a lotto ticket, and you'll never see me again. Some people in the indoor cricket community might be very happy with that news. All right, so Travis Baker here. Now, this guy, fix your eyes on him. He's coming from the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and it is fast.
Jeez, and he's been taken on down the deck. So not really the ball you'd think would go in that area, but he's taken them on, and you might see a bit of that here. So we've got an interesting matchup here. Both ex-Croydon boys from last year.
Oh, no. Oh, and a poor mix-up. No one's spoken to anyone there. The batters, they didn't want to have a discussion. And the fielders, they didn't want to know each other either.
So I wouldn't mind a close-up on Travis Baker there. you might be able to see some steam blowing from those ears. He's not happy about it. And that might explain the short ball following, I think.
He's a little nervous in the service, is he, down there, Sam Wettering? And this will either be the exact same pill or very full and wide on off stump. Oh, it's too good. That's what it is. And the third ball is affected. It's a bit of a clinic. And we've got broken stump or broken bail. The zing bails come off.
Yeah, well, if his teammates aren't going to do it for him, he's going to do it himself.
Yeah,
so he's bowled very well there. A nice outswinger and just done Sam all ends up. Oh, it's hooping around nicely. Tried to give himself a little bit of room there, and I think he's pretty lucky not to get bowled there in the end. Oh, that's handy work from Chavi's brother. So they've teamed up for a couple wickets now, Chavi and his brother Luke. And he has been very handy behind the stumps today. Oh, that is real sharp work.
And the ball's thrown into him for good measure, and he doesn't like it.
Love a bit of that stuff.
And it's just one of those, and I'm sure that it's not meant for this purpose, but when that is actually done in a game where it's pretty even, it's just a little psychological kind of, you know, you're on the ground, I'll flick this your way. It just kind of eats away at people, doesn't it? That kind of gear. Particularly at a national tournament, you know, you're just chewing away at this poor old bugger for a week.
When the pressure's hot.
Just breaking him down.
Yeah. Got to get every little bit of edge over them. So anything else than that definitely does.
Well, the Seahawks are really starting to cook my books here a little bit with -7 from the start. But Trav Baker, of course, is an outstanding athlete and player of the sport. So it doesn't surprise me that he's got off to a pretty handy start there. I'm sure they'll build back up a little bit. Trav Baker taking 7 wickets from his 5 games coming into this match. Of course, he's taken 3 or possibly even 4. So he's doing quite well.
Yeah, well, they've come into this pair and they've brought heat straight up. So Travis Baker to start with and now Dan to follow it up. So, you know, they bowl opposite things. In swing to the left-hander here from Dan, and it was the other way for Travi. So changing it up, but both, you know, sharp bowlers and big wicket takers.
Yeah, it's Trav Baker getting down quite low there, flicking the ball back, or only the one stump to look at, and coming perilously close. -1 this batting skin. I'm sure that they're looking at the 25, and it's something they'd like. They may as well die wondering. There's no harm in it. I mean, perhaps a bit of points differential may hurt them, but you know, with the greatest respect, they're coming at the bottom of the table, so it's not going to hurt them too much. The Croydon Raiders on 35 competition points, Casey Stars 28, Cranbourne Kings 24, and the CSB Seahawks 8.5. So don't die wondering. That would be my advice. It's called a leg side. Good call there by umpire Andrew Potts. As over is called. 35 is the total. As some John Farnham comes on. You're the voice.
Going to give us a bit of karaoke here, mate, are you?
Absolutely not.
I reckon you'd go off with this. Go straight on it then.
Oh, mate, I sound like someone swinging around a bag of cats, mate. It's absolutely horrific. So I've got a bit of a feeling here that Simon Varvarok is going to come down and try and take J-Jam on. And he does the exact opposite. Oh, and it's been given out. Wow. That's when you just look up to the heavens and you say, what else can we do?
Yeah, Daniel Van Hees there in the corner. Very sharp work. Direct hit miles out.
And only looking at the one stump, like if that doesn't impress you, you are very difficult to please, I'm telling you.
It's tough work in the corners. And these nets, like I said earlier, they're very springy. You don't have a lot of time to react, so he's got a clean handle. Not only has he done that, but hit that one stump. Oh, and like you said, he's taken J-Jam on here.
Yeah, he had a little bit of intent straight from the get-go, did Vavarok, with the Travis Baker over, and I thought, that's good.
Yeah, set
No
the tone
respect
early.
to Trav Baker. Cool.
Who's
You know
that?
what I mean?
Who's
Yeah,
Trav?
that's
Trav
exactly
who?
right. No, I don't mind that. That ball, as we see it, just missing the stumps, and you see Travis Baker's reaction.
Emotional fella, Trav,
He's
isn't he?
he's an emotional guy, mate.
Oh, takes him on again. Third ball.
Gee, I tell you what, that's one really important point of this fielding innings. They've taken their third ball opportunities more often than not.
Yeah, they've executed really well. Their general plan is to be full and wide, whereas, you know, the balls before that, a lot of them are into the body. So changing it up full and wide, and the batsmen just haven't been able to hit it. They've been able to get a fair bit of swing, and Luke Baker's done the job behind the stumps.
Oh, bit of Metallica. Who is this DJ? What a legend. Metallica, of course, touring Australia very shortly. Unfortunately, have got absolutely nothing to do with Cricket Australia, so it'd be inappropriate of me to tell you that they're touring on the 3rd of October, the 5th, the 6th. Get your ticket. Don't just fucking around. I'm having a bit of fun. Well, the last over of this batting pair, and ultimately the game, and the skin is on -5, and they're chasing 30. And just as I say that, it has gone straight through him like a hot curry. The stumps have gone crashing back. The bars have lit up. Watch the middle peg here. Good night, Monica. Bang.
That's a great pulley.
That is just straight through.
It's the 16th over, and he's extracting a lot of swing still, so he knows how to present that seam, and he's bowled a peach.
And again, it's the same one. Deary, deary me. And the saddest thing of all, there goes the 44 total.
I was just thinking the same thing here. You might just have to stay on the commentating after all.
Yeah, I'll hang around and do it. So, we'll see if he can go a third. I know he'd love to. Oh, it was pretty close to it as well. It was pretty close to it.
A bit of banter between the boys. They've played a fair bit of state cricket together, so Dan will be loving that. He'll tell him plenty about it after the game, no doubt.
Well, this is an absolute display and a clinic. You just cannot miss the stumps here at the moment. This is outstanding. This is going straight to the highlights reel. My holy goodness. Mother Teresa, all the saints, everybody, look at it. There's 3 bowls in 1 over. I hope you're enjoying your National Indoor Cricket League 2019, because I tell you what, mate, if this hasn't got you salivating like a dog in a butcher shop, then nothing will, my friend.
You know what? They're going to have to start calling him Junk Time Daniel. I reckon that's going to have to be the go. They're calling for another big celebration for this last ball. Get one through, Danny.
I ask if it wants to be rebowled, and he says, no, get me out of here. I don't want it. Much to the great dismay of the punters here in the sports stadium. And gets a boo for his trouble, if you don't mind.
Jeez, that wouldn't be Juddy, would it?
Oh, my goodness. Well, Cranbourne Kings just running out victors pretty comfortably here, 110 to 20 over the Southern Bayside Seahawks. Where'd you find this game? 1 and run, mate, in 10 to 15 seconds.
Well, it was a pretty clinical effort from the get-go for the Cranbourne Kings. They put on 4 strong pairs, didn't really show a weak spot, and came out from the get-go 6 to start with for the first pair for the Seahawks. Wasn't going to be enough, and following the whole game, they were absolutely on form. So clinical effort and foreskins for Cranbourne.
Yeah, it certainly was, and right from the get-go, they were right on top. They just set that intensity immediately. It was 6 from the first batting partnership. From a fielding perspective, that's outstanding. I did enjoy the 17 coming from the Seahawks in the second one. I thought that was good. I thought they showed a bit of grit and a bit of ticket there, which was great. And then obviously at the end, it all came a bit crashed down with that last over. But look, we certainly hope that you enjoyed the coverage. A big thank you to our a big thank you to our official broadcast partner, Sportscast. Burley Seacombe, the official ball supplier of the National Indoor Cricket League. If you are interested in playing indoor cricket, of course, visit playcricket.com.au. And the Yellow Ball Podcast. Catch up on all the news all throughout the season of the Yellow Ball Podcast. There's going to be some special content there that you can't get from the live stream. It's going to be some interviews with the captains that'll be happening almost immediately. So, Jeff Latham, thanks very much for your company in the broadcast booth here this evening.
Thank you very much.
No worries at all. And from Casey Sports Stadium. I'm not in Brisbane anymore. I'm not in Kansas anymore, Toto. From Casey Sports Stadium, my name's Gary Lowe. It's been an absolute pleasure to be having your company through all the iPads and the iPhones and wherever you've decided to put us on. Thanks very much. And from us, it's a good night.
Oh, that's handiwork from Chavi's brother. So they've teamed up.
Rock is going to come down and try and take J-Gem on. And he does the exact opposite. Oh, and it's been given out. Wow. Rock is going to come down and try and take J-Gem on. And he does the exact opposite. Oh, and it's been given out. Wow. Well, the last over of this batting pair and ultimately the game, and the skin is on -5 and they're chasing 30, and just as I say that, it has gone straight through him like a hot curry. The stumps have gone. Well, the last over of this batting pair and ultimately the game, and the skin is on -5 and they're chasing 30, and just as I say that, it has gone straight through him like a hot curry. The stumps have gone. Well, the last over of this batting pair and ultimately the game, and the skin is on -5 and they're chasing 30, and just as I say that, it has gone straight through him like a hot curry. The stumps have gone.
So he knows how to present that seam, and he's bowled a peach.
And again, it's the same one.
So he knows how to present that seam, and he's bowled a peach.
And again, it's the same one.
So he knows how to present that seam, and he's bowled a peach.
And again, it's the same one.
No doubt.
Well, this is an absolute display in a clinic. He just cannot miss the stumps here. Well, this is an absolute display in a clinic. He just